What's going on, Ghost Squad? Welcome back to the channel. This is Trey with Ghost Tactical, and this is going to be another video in the survival series where we're going to talk a little bit about outdoor stuff and everyday things that everyone should know. You don't have to be a survivalist or anything like that. You don't have to be all the training. This is going to be things that everyone can use, simple things that everyone should be able to have around the house or can get very easily to help you survive in natural disasters or whatever. Obviously, the Red Dawn scenario probably isn't going to happen, but we're coming up on the natural disaster, the tornadoes, the hurricane seasons, and all of that. And you never know when you're going to be without shelter, without electricity, without heat or food or water for 2 or 3 days until help can get to where you are. So it's nice to know some simple, basic ways to survive. Today's video is going to be on generating heat or building a fire, and everyone has seen the videos out there with stuff like this, the magnesium strips and all that, shaving them down, getting the magnesium shavings, and then go ahead and sparking it and get it lit. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of videos out there. What we're going to talk about today are 3 simple ways to build a fire that you may not have used or heard of before, that are very simple, that are very easy, and they all include less than $1 lighter. Yes, a lighter. Whether you smoke or not, this is something that you should have on you at all times, whether it's in a go bag or your vehicle. You can get a 3-pack or a 6-pack for $1 or $2 at the Dollar General store or wherever. But a simple lighter can get you going. And yes, you say, well, you already got fire if you've got a lighter. Well, you've got to sustain that fire and actually get it built up and all of that. So the first thing you want to start with is trying to obviously dry if possible, but just little small twigs, and you take these and you can just break them off, get them as small as you can, and get a bunch of them going. And so you've got a bunch of basically kindling to where you can set this right on top of the fire, get this burning, and then maybe move up into something a little bit bigger, then something maybe a little bit bigger, breaking these off and using these, and then ultimately be able to get to some bigger twigs and then obviously some bigger pieces of wood. But you start out small and work your way up. But like I said, go ahead and have a bunch of that ready to go before you even think about starting a fire, okay? So the first method that we're going to go through today is using these. Now these cost about $4 at Walmart, and they're the Duraflame, the Firestart cubes, okay? These things are going to come in a big old package, and individually, let's see how many of them are in here. I don't know. There's 18 in this one pack. 18 of these in this one pack. And you might need 1, you might need 2 of these, but I think 1 would probably get you going and all of that. So you get this and you get it lit and then build a fire and all that. So let's kind of show you how to build a fire with something like this. Okay, so we're going to start with some twigs over here and all of that. Get them kind of broken up, get them ready to go. Like I said, start it with them small if you can. The drier the better. It might be a little difficult. We've had a lot of rain around here lately, so having dry wood may not be great, but the good thing is if you do it right, you can still make it work. So go ahead and prep that fire before you do anything. Get the twigs ready to go and all of that. So then we set up here, we got our little fire starter cube. And we found an area with some rocks where it's not going to spread, be safe. Now, if you want to dig a fire pit to get the wind, it's fine. We don't have a lot of wind right now, so we're going to be okay. So we go ahead and start that right here. Okay. Get our lighter. Let it get going for a second. And like you said, it's going to burn for a while. But once it gets kind of for sure going, then at this point, let it kind of spread out a little bit to where you know it's not going to get put out, especially if you've got some wet wood. We're just going to put some twigs get it going. Let that sit there and burn for a little bit. Especially if it's a little bit wet, it might take a little bit longer for that wood to start burning, but I promise you it will start burning. Especially with this fire starter. That fire starter is not going out. Even with the wind, it is probably not going to go out. Once we can start seeing that wood burning a little bit, we can kind of start making it a little bit bigger. Okay. And as you can tell, that flame's not going out anytime soon. So you've got plenty of time. Like I said, you can kind of come in afterwards and get some bigger ones. All of that, and keep adding on until you get the size of fire that you want or need by adding bigger pieces of wood or whatever. But that fire starter brick right there is going to last, you know, 10, 15, maybe longer, just on that one brick. But it's not going to go out with just wind. It's going to stay burning, and that's going to be the consistent fire, even with wet wood like this was. This was damp wood. But even with damp wood, after the rain this morning and last night, it's got no problem getting that wood going, and it's going to start that fire. So the next way we're going to build a fire using these. Now there's two things in here. This costs $2.97 at Walmart. And all this stuff you can find back in the outdoor section and all that. This is a sterno, and basically what these things are, let me get over there you go. What they're going to do is they're canned heat. So you're going to take off this part, and it's already got kind of fuel and all that in there. You just light it, and it's going to burn for hours. But you can cook on this straight off of this if you want. You can, you know, build something to put on, you know, this can cook. You can cook right on top of this if you want. So this can be a flame, but if you want to get a fire going with this, you could then put this out and save it for later. But once you get the fire going and all that, but this is going to be something you can literally cook off of after you get your fire started and it's going. Take this off, put it off the side, and you can cook on this, boil water on this, whatever. But canned heat, like I said, a 2-pack for less than $3. So let's get a fire started with this thing. All right, so the next way we're going to start is with the canned heat. And like I said, all I got to do is just pop this off with a knife or screwdriver, whatever. And as you can see, it's just got gel in there, and it's going to be flammable gel and all of that, and it's going to stay lit for a long time. This is probably going to be the best option for staying heated long time. So as you can see, we have our twigs ready to go and all of that, and all we're going to do is get that lit just a little bit. Now you can see that flame, okay, and it's already started. Is this going to be the best way to go? Probably for cooking, absolutely. You can cook on this, and you can do, a lot of restaurants use these. But like I said, once you got that flame going, go ahead and just throw some of those twigs on there. They can be a little damp because that flame's not going anywhere. Might take a little bit longer. Like I said, it's going to take a little bit longer for the wood probably to get lit. But once again, that gel isn't going anywhere at all. And once you've got that wood burning, the gel's going, the wood's burning, if you wanted to, you could utilize that for cooking or whatever. You can utilize this canned heat straight up just for cooking. But it is a great way to get that fire going. As you can see, that wood that is damp, like I said, it rained all night, and this morning, that wood has already started to get going burning. So at that point, you can go ahead and throw on some bigger pieces, and it's gonna go. So now that we've got the fire started and we want to get done with it, it's real simple. Just take the wood off, bounce it around. At that point, you just cut off the air supply to it, and it's gone. Flame is no longer there. Cut the air supply off, reused it for cooking or anything else. Canned heat, good to go right there. And the third way we're going to show to start a fire utilizes two options. Okay, so the first part of this is going to be a cotton ball, and you can get a big old thing of cotton balls for nothing, Dollar General or whatever, and some petroleum jelly Vaseline. Now guys, don't lie, every one of you out there knows you have Vaseline at home. Hey, I don't judge, it is what it is, but you can utilize it for something productive as far as building a fire as you could, we'll say, other things. But we know you got some, so you might as well put it to good use. But petroleum jelly, Vaseline, whatever. And this is something that very, very few people ever think about or ever know about. But with a cotton ball and Vaseline, this one little cotton ball coated in Vaseline will burn for about 10 or 15 minutes, and that gives you plenty of time to get a fire started. So let's build a fire with this. Okay, so the third one, a little Vaseline and a cotton ball. Now you can use 2 or 3 or 4 cotton balls, whatever you want, but one will get you going. And the best way to do it is to kind of spread it out a little bit, okay? And let the air get into that cotton a little bit more. But just kind of spread it out a little bit. Get a big old glob of that Vaseline. Stick it all in there, and at that point just kind of fold it over and just get some more. Real simple as that, okay? So put that off the side. Once again, we've got our twigs ready to go and our trusty lighter. So we want to try to find that glob of Vaseline we got right there. See how quickly it's gonna get the fire going. At that point, once again, start small with the twigs. That Vaseline is going to burn for quite a while, actually. You'd be surprised at how long that Vaseline will burn. Once again, this might take a little bit longer than the fire starter, but it will kind of get going. That cotton's going to burn. That Vaseline's going to continue to burn. That's petroleum jelly, petroleum, oil-based. Once you get those twigs started, then you can obviously add on and get bigger pieces of wood and twigs and all that. But at this point, you've got your fire going. All right, so whether it is the fire starter in cubes or the canned heat or the cotton ball with Vaseline, there are so many other ways that you could build a fire using a very simple lighter and some of these stuff that you can get for cheap, or you probably already have at the house and you didn't even realize you could start a fire with it. There are so many different options out there. These are just 3 of them, but these are 3 very, very good ones that are going to sustain that flame for longer while you build that fire. And you can get them for cheap, you can get them anywhere, and probably most of you have some of these items around the house already to where you don't have to go get them. But the main reason why we're doing this series, and especially this one, is you need 4 things. We preach this all the time. You need 4 things to survive: shelter, heat / fire, water, and food. Everything else is extra, okay? And depending on the situation or where you are, you know, you can go a couple days without water. You can go several days without food. But shelter and heat, you can die of hypothermia very, very quickly if you're caught in the wrong position. So shelter and heat, water, food. You get those 4 basic things, you can survive for as long as you can. As long as you've got the supplies or the access to water or some food or whatever, you can survive. So that's what this series is all about, but this one is about fire. And I really do think that if you just put your mind to it, there are things out there that you don't tend to remember that are flammable. Rubbing alcohol that has alcohol, something that is flammable, you can utilize to start fire. Like I said, always have a lighter with you, whether you smoke or not. You can go and get a 6-pack of Bic lighters for a couple bucks at the Dollar General. Put them in your car, put them in your go bag, whatever it is, to where you always have access to a fire. Can you start it with magnesium? Absolutely. Sparking it? Absolutely, you can. But why do that if you don't have to? There are a lot of options that are quicker, better, more efficient with your time and all of that stuff. So yes, that magnesium thing can cost you $7, $8, $10 somewhere. You can go get a lighter, some cotton balls of Vaseline for $3 combined, $4 combined. So half the price of that magnesium rod, you can have something that's going to be better, easier to start, and it's going to stand there longer with the flame. So Guys, we hope you're enjoying this series. If you are, go ahead and leave us a comment down below. Let us know some of the ways that you can start a fire, or you've seen start a fire, or how you would like to maybe start a fire, because there are things that I need to learn as well. I'm not an expert by any means, but let us know out there how you would like to start a fire, or how you've seen it and all of that, because that'll help everyone we can. So guys, get out there, get outdoors, teach the kids, teach the wife, teach the husband, whatever the situation may be, on the simple ways of survival, and one of the big ones is fire. So guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Semper Fi.